Hey, Mark the Guitar Guy here. It is Q&A Friday, which means you guys get to ask me a question and I get to answer it for you directly through the camera lens that's going on right here and into your computer screen or maybe tablet device. So the question we have here today is to do with reading chords and reading like where the chords are above lyrics and that sort of thing. So I'll read the question out. It's from, hopefully I get this name right, but it's Carmagna. Hopefully that's right. Please, I'm really ignorant and I don't really know. And plus I'm a guitarist, so I've already got like issues. So the question is, most of the songs I want to learn are in the form of lyrics with chords above. I struggle to figure out the number of beats per measure and the number of measures between each chord. Is there a method to determine these? So this question is actually, it's a tricky one to answer. I'm gonna get rid of this phone. It's a tricky one to answer, but basically whenever you get chords and you've downloaded, I'm sure you've tried this, you go and download something on the internet or you have a look on the screen and you go and get something from a site that has the lyrics on there and it's got the chords written just above the lyrics. So as you're playing along you can figure out what chord is above what word and that sort of stuff. The problem is a lot of the times they're written by people just at home like you and I that have just put them up on the internet and they've kind of haphazardly put the chords in roughly, or sometimes the chords are wrong, sometimes they don't repeat the number of chords, so say it's a D and then 5 words later there's a G and then 10 words later there's an A and you're sort of what's going on here and how long does that last and do I say those words quickly? There's all these questions that are going on when you do this. So the problem is, firstly, are you getting a good version of that song? And are the chords accurate, which is the other issue, you've got to make sure are they accurate? And are the chords actually above the word where it happens? So what I like to do, and I do this with every song I do for when I'm learning a new song, I'll go and get that song, I'll have it printed out in front of me, I'll listen to the song, and wherever the word happens and the chord changes, I'll sometimes have to cross out where the original chord was. Let's say it's a D and it's above the word because, and I might find it at the beginning of the word because is where the D is, and I'll cross it out because it actually happens the second part of the word. It might be like because is where the D is. I'll try and make it as close as possible to putting that chord above the actual lyric where that chord happens. Now sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes the chords change and it's actually between words. Well, that's fine, you just put it in there. Or sometimes there's a whole bunch of chords before the next word, and so you've actually got a whole bunch of chords that are happening. It's a very tricky thing to do. So there's that one way of doing it, where you actually go through and physically change where the chords are. So that's one way. Another way is actually just listening to the song and getting to know the song so well so that you can play the chords regardless of what's going on with the chords and the words. So you want to have it independent. So the first thing is learn the guitar part of the song. So don't sing along with it yet. Learn the guitar part, learn the guitar part, learn the guitar part. Make any corrections with your pen or writing it into the computer if you think you need to make some corrections. And most of the time, to be honest, for me, I make a correction. I like to change things up. Either they're wrong or like the version that I've got in my head better, which is the other way of doing things. And then once you've got it programmed, remember we talk about this a lot, once you've got it programmed, so therefore the guitar is just happening and you're just observing it going, cool, I've played this so many times, I know what I'm doing. Then you can look at the lyrics and you'll find the lyrics will sit on top of that like a layer. You've got your layer of guitar, that's all done. Then we go and chuck the lyrics on top of that and now we can sing along with that, no problems. That's the best way I find to do that anyway. So there's 2 solutions for you. Hopefully that helps. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad versions of songs out there. You just got to get through and find your best version of it. But they do have a lot of rating systems with these ones. Like I know on Ultimate Guitar, for example, you can go and get some pretty good versions and they've got star ratings next to them. And so you can actually get the best version of that song. And the lyrics will be pretty close. So hopefully that helps with what's going on. Because there's no real definitive answer because everyone has their own version of writing these songs. So therefore, I could give you a definitive answer for one version and then someone else will come along and do things slightly different and it needs a new answer. But hopefully that gives you a start on how many times you play like a bar or how long your chord lasts for before your chords change, etc. Please, if you've got another question you'd like me to answer and maybe a bit less vague than that one, please put your comments below and just say, hey, I'm John from Lithuania, and or whatever your name is, and whatever your country is. Please let me know, and let me know your question. And there is a good chance, if it's a good question and I think people need to know it, I will let them know on this very channel in front of millions of people. So that's Martin the Guitar Guy signing off. I hope that helps, and please subscribe. Please tell your friends. I cannot wait to see you again. Catch you later.